Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing day. Today is Thursday. Every single Thursday on schedule, if there's no holidays, there's this natural gas report. In this video, I wanted to talk about how I normally would like it to play out. This is 100% just based off of my opinion. Today, just so we can get straight to it, I made $643, but let me tell you, it was anything but a perfect day. And you guys might be like, well, rolling your eyes, right? Because I still made money. Trust me, I get it. I started the day off super strong. My first trade ended up making me nearly $400, which is really efficient. My daily goal is $500 profit a day. My second day trade, and this was shortly after. I don't trade the actual natural gas report. I trade shortly after. I trade the reaction. And I'm going to explain to you exactly the mistake I made. You can see that I took a total of 23 orders. These are not 23 day trades. My first order starting at 7:33 and my last one ending at 11:55, nearly 12. If you know anything or if you've watched any of my previous videos, I normally only trade for 2 hours or less. So this was anything but an efficient day trading. But I saw there to be potential. I stuck with it and ended up paying off. It didn't have to, but it ended up paying off. So I want to talk about why I first took my first position. So for those that don't understand, what do I mean by a natural gas report? Well, every single Thursday, there is an inventory report for the commodity of natural gas, right? Therefore, based off of that inventory report, natural gas will either shoot up or pull back, depending on the report and based off of expectation. This report ended up being in favor of natural gas. And let me tell you, this report comes out 1 hour after the market opens. So wherever it is that you are, 1 hour after the market opens, there's an instant reaction. So you could see that natural gas was showing signs of, a bearish pattern. And this is why I took my first position on degas. We began to show signs of an overall reversal, and I want to show you this. I want to be able to show you my entries. You guys can see that I added here, right, as it was reversing, and then I sold here. So I sold 225 shares. That's a little bit under, if I'm not mistaken, $40,000. It's about like $37,000, and it played out well. It was a very efficient trade. It was my first day trade, and I did not expect much of it. So natural gas, right, I was on top of the world. That was one trade. I was more than halfway to my daily goal. Natural gas was selling off. This report comes out. I don't care which way this report comes out because I'm not holding anything, during this natural gas report. It's one of the things that I've said multiple times to the Learn Plan Profit Group. The Learn Plan Profit Group is the only group that gets to watch me trade live every single morning. And one of the things that I like to empower people to do is, again, to not put yourself in an unfortunate situation in which you cannot control the risk of. Natural gas had a bullish report. It popped up. It began to push up. It peaked out. A couple minutes passed by, and it began to pull back. Because it began to pull back, again, none of this happened already. So now looking at this, yes, I understand that you would not have gotten in. But looking at how this thing pushed up and looking at previous resistance levels, I saw natural gas to be overbought. Looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI, I saw it beginning to pull back. So I took a couple shares on DS. My position size was not big, and that was my biggest focus. It began to pull back. I was up a couple $100, and then things began to go south for me, but bullish for natural gas. It began to push up. I should have cut losses. Looking at previous highs, there is no question. There is no question that looking at previous highs, around this area, around 2.44 to 2.445, this should have been my max loss for degas because when natural gas goes up, degas goes down. I didn't cut losses. Easiest way for me to put it, I froze, and then things really began. Like when they begin to go bad, we've seen it multiple times before. I tend to do so well during these natural gas reports. And you guys, if you guys have ever watched me trade live during one of these natural gas reports, I tend to stay very patient. And if I do get into a position, my position size is very small. So it doesn't matter if natural gas pushes up because it's overbought and my position size is so minute. That was not the case today. I was heavily invested in degas. And it was very unfortunate because once it pushed up to 2.46, I decided to cut losses on DGAS, and I literally sold at one of the lowest price points. Now, I want to be completely open about what happened, but I wanted to first explain what went wrong. So I added to my position size here. Things began to go south, added an additional 50 shares, and then I cut losses at 136.39, and it hit lows of 136. So overall, I sold at a pretty low price point. It began to push right back up. I took a deep breath, I allowed it to run, and then it pulled back once again. Once it began to pull back, this is when I began to add more to my position size on DGAS, and this is when I began to make a recovery. I bought 150 shares at 156.80. It began to indicate signs of an uptrend. I added 50 more shares. It began to push up, and you can see that I had a little bit more shares. Ended up locking a profit of 300 shares at 140.37. I made back nearly everything that is that I lost, on top of, I think I was down $1,000, and then I recovered those $1,000, and then I was up 180. I took another position. Natural gas literally just consolidated for the longest time ever, and then it began to go in my favor. I locked in profit, and then that's how I ended at $643 profit. I did take a position on UGAS, and you guys could see that right here, that this is where I bought as natural gas sold off. It formulated a reversal. I bought here with 3,500 shares at 10.65, and then it sold at 10.71 and hit highs of 10.79. So I did a pretty good job there as we waited for the overall reversal, and then I locked in profits right away. I made 180, I think. Yeah, 180 and 70 cents. So altogether, $643. My past couple of days, if you guys have noticed anything about this week I've been completely green, and last week I've been completely green. I was certain that today was going to be a red day. My day was anything but efficient. Did I end up green? Yes, but it was really that comeback. One of the things that I wanted to show you before we close this out is one of the things that happens very often, and this is just in my experience, is natural gas I try to focus on direction, right? Natural gas was bearish. It was selling off right before the report. So I normally like the report to come out in favor of natural gas because the direction is bearish for natural gas. So as it becomes overbought, this report, this news, this hype only lasts for a very short period of time. Today, it consolidated longer than I expected. And sometimes it consolidates for 30 minutes. Sometimes, like we saw today, it can literally consolidate all day. And we could see that it consolidated for about 3 to 4 hours, and then it began to sell off. It wasn't until it actually broke below the SMA line and then the middle VWAP where it actually began to aggressively sell off. So again, I should have been a more efficient trader. I should have not gotten in so early until the direction was more clear, but I definitely paid the price for it. I was up $380. I was then down $1,000. I recovered that. We consolidated at a break-even point for about 3 hours, and then I made it back at $643.77. Just so you guys could see once again, took my first position today at 7:33 a.m. and my last position I sold at 11:55. So all positions are closed. I'm happy that I was able to end it. Market's closed already. I'm happy that I was able to end it on a green note. I just wanted to explain how and what went wrong today and what I could have done better. So we have one more day this week, right, to try to end it on a green note. I'm off to an amazing start, and I really want to make sure that we end it strong. I need to stay more patient. I need to do my part in really watching my position size when things are going south. I think that we can all agree that, when things do go south and your position size is very small, you don't hesitate to cut losses because the dollar amount is indifferent. But when you're heavily invested, it becomes more difficult. So a takeaway from that is when things begin to go south, make sure that your position size is not devastating. When it is, again, you put yourself in a very uncomfortable situation when you begin to second guess yourself, and then that's when you can put yourself in positions that you can end up being down about 2%, right? So I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that I earned your thumbs up in this video. It's not the most entertaining video, but I think there's a lot of takeaways, especially from the mistakes that I made. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Really do appreciate you guys' time, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy.